All right, let's talk about a tool from the software world that honestly could completely change the game for traditional engineers. We're going to talk about how to finally escape project file chaos for good.
Oh yeah, you know this file. You've probably even made this file. It's pretty much the universal symbol for, I have completely lost control of this project. It's basically a cry for help typed right into your file explorer.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say it does. It's that awful sinking feeling, right? You're just staring at a folder with a dozen different versions, trying to figure out which one the client actually liked or where your best idea disappeared to.
So let's actually give this a name. We'll call it the final_v3 problem. And look, it's way more than just a messy folder. It's a real systemic issue that costs you time, money, and maybe even your best work.
This right here, this is the real heart of the problem. Picture this. You spend all afternoon trying out different design paths. Option C looks amazing at 2 o'clock, but by 5, after you've made a ton of little tweaks, you realize, wait, the 2 o'clock version was the best one. The problem? You saved over it. That brilliant idea is just gone. And now you're stuck settling for good enough because you just can't go back.
But here's the wild part. This is not some new, unsolved mystery. Software engineers figured this out for themselves almost 20 years ago. There is a mature, rock-solid technology that is just waiting to be dropped into your workflow, whether you're a mechanical, civil, or structural engineer.
So what is this magic solution? Well, it's a lot more than just a fancy file organizer. You can think of it as giving you the power of time travel for your engineering projects.
Okay, so the official name for this superpower is version control, and all it really means is that it's a system that keeps a perfect record of every single change you make to your project files. That way you can jump back to any specific version from any point in time whenever you want.
But what does that really give you day to day? I mean, it's so much more than just backups. It's like having parallel universes where you can explore different designs without messing anything up. It's a perfect, searchable history of every single decision made. And maybe most importantly, it gives you the freedom to experiment fearlessly.
And the basic workflow? It's actually beautiful in its simplicity. When you get to a good stopping point, like you've just finished a calculation or updated a bill of materials, you make what's called a commit. Just think of it like taking a perfect snapshot of your entire project in that exact moment. The system, which is called Git, then remembers that state forever.
Okay, so let's be real for a second and set some expectations. We need to be clear about where this tool, Git, really shines and where it has some limits, at least for now. It is absolutely incredible for any text-based file, your specs, spreadsheets, reports, all of it. Now, it can store your big CAD files, no problem, but it can't easily show you the visual differences between two 3D models. But here's the key takeaway. A hybrid workflow is still a total game changer. Think about it. All your calculations, all your specs, the entire logic behind your design is perfectly versioned. The CAD file just becomes the output of that process, not the only source of truth.
All right, enough theory. Let's see how this actually works in the real world. We're going to take a look at a real mechanical design project, a drive system for a dual-cone mixer, and see how version control was used.
So here you can see a clear evolution of the design. We've got Rev A and Rev B. You can see the belt ratio changed, they swapped out the gearbox for a different one, resized the jack shaft, and then look at that bottom line. The cost changed too.
And there's the result. By being able to explore these different options and track every change, the team found a direct cost saving of over $2,000. That's almost a 5% reduction. So let's just play out a super common scenario. The client calls you up and asks, hey, remind me, why did you change the gearbox? Without Git, you're scrambling, right? You're digging through old emails, checking file dates, hoping someone took good notes. But with Git, the answer is literally one command away. You can instantly see what changed, the note you left tells you why it changed, and you can even show the exact cost savings that came from it. It's just clarity and accountability on demand.
Okay, so let's zoom out a little from that one example, because this isn't really about just one project. When you adopt a tool like this, it changes the entire system of how you and your team get work done.
It really transforms your day-to-day. Every single design decision becomes part of this permanent, automatic record. You can explore 3 different bearing options at the same time, in parallel, with no confusion. Your teammates can work on the same project without you worrying about overwriting each other's work. And that whole painful process of trying to bring back an old idea, it becomes easy. This quote right here gets to the absolute heart of it. It's a psychological shift. It completely removes the fear of making a mistake or losing your work.
It's like a safety net that actually encourages you to innovate and try bold new things because you know without a doubt that you can get back to a good starting point in seconds. And hey, if you need to make a business case for this to your boss, the numbers are pretty compelling. When you add up all the time spent just hunting for the right file, trying to reconstruct design history, or manually merging changes, it can easily add up to about 200 hours saved per engineer every single year.
Okay, I can almost hear you thinking, this sounds great, but it also sounds kind of complicated. Don't worry, in this last section, we're going to make this super simple. Here's your clear, non-scary path to getting started.
This is honestly the single best piece of advice for learning any new technical skill today. You don't need to read a 500-page book. The barrier to entry has pretty much disappeared. All you have to do is ask your favorite AI assistant for a helping hand.
And I mean this literally. Just open up ChatGPT or Claude or whatever you use and type in a prompt just like this one. Tell it who you are and what you want to do. It will walk you through everything step by step, from installing the software to making your very first commit, and it'll explain it all in plain English.
And you know what? Once you're up and running, you'll find that like 80% of what you'll ever need to do is covered by just these 5 commands. Git add and git commit, that's how you take the snapshot. Git status and git log, that's how you see what you've done. And git checkout, well, that's your time machine. That's how you travel back. You don't need to be an expert. You just need these 5 keys.
So, we'll end with this question. This is about so much more than just organizing files. It's about unlocking a new way to work, a way where you're not afraid of losing progress. So the real question is, what new solutions, what better designs, what incredible innovations could you create if you knew you could explore any idea absolutely fearlessly?